MSW Media.
News with swearing. Daily beans, daily beans. Daily beans, daily beans.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Beans for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Today, Pete Hegseth moves the goalposts again, saying they couldn't see the two survivors they blew out of the water with the second strike. At least 11 Indiana Republicans were met with threats after refusing to redistrict. The Trump administration has fired 8 immigration judges in New York alone. Costco is suing Donald Trump for tariff refunds ahead of the Supreme Court ruling. Republican Darrell Issa, he's thinking about moving to Texas after being drawn out of his California district. Trump has promised a crime crackdown in San Francisco, but he's doing the opposite. And the Department of Justice is about to do something really, really stupid. So get your popcorn. I'm Allison Gill.
And I'm Dana Goldberg.
Oh my goodness. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I am good. I just want to start this off by saying yesterday we put up a link for people and mentioned all kinds of different nonprofits for Giving Tuesday. As we're recording this, 128, almost 130 of you have donated specifically to the Human Rights Campaign. I don't have a total, but these donations were anywhere from 5, which is so appreciated, to 500. And I just can't thank the Beans community enough. You made a big splash, and thank you. I really just appreciate you, and I know the Human Rights Campaign does as well.
Oh, and that's news to me too. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was a surprise.
Learning this in real time. Surprise for me as well. You guys are amazing.
You really are.
That's so incredible. All of you. Seriously. So, briefly, I just want to talk about the San Francisco situation. Trump is like, San Francisco is terrible. Everything is crime. It's a war zone. And he wants to talk about sending National Guard troops there, but he's actually pulling federal police from their jobs in San Francisco fighting crime to work on mass deportation. So he's actually defunding the police. And again, this is kind of part of the fascist strategy. You break the government so you can privatize it or take advantage of it or send troops in to fix what you've broken. He's the arsonist who puts out the fire, right?
Yeah, he really is. And I'll tell you what, I'll be in San Francisco this weekend. It's my last Human Rights Campaign gala of the year. I promise I'll be safe. I'm really worried about it, and the farmers markets and everything else. And what I'm very excited about is our keynote speaker is Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, give her a hug for me.
I definitely will.
Aunt Nancy. Boy, she could whip a caucus.
Whew.
I don't know how
I'm glad you finished that word, but that sounded dirty when we started it, didn't it?
Well,
she could probably do that too if she wanted to.
Remember when she ripped up the State of the Union?
Oh, it was my favorite. And that clap that I had a mug, they had them printed on mug. Aren't you cute?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I remember in the first impeachment when the gavel came down and she everybody wanted to clap and cheer on the floor, on the House floor, and she's like, zip it. Mm. Yep. She gave the look. Mm.
Yep.
And everyone was quiet. This is a very serious thing, a very sober thing. We're impeaching a president. No clappy claps. So we have just a pretty interesting show today. We're sitting here. We're about an hour away from polls closing in Tennessee, so we aren't going to know.
Oh, man, I know.
But if there are results that we can slip in to the show before it goes to air with a how we do that sometimes breaking news thing.
Yeah.
We're going to do that right now. Hey, everybody. Breaking news. Matt Van Epps has won Tennessee's 7th District in this special election. He beat Afton Ben by looks like 8 points. There's still about 8% of the vote yet to count. But it has been called for Matt Van Epps. I just want to say, making up, my goodness, 13, 12 points in this very, very red district, which is gerrymandered, by the way, after they packed and cracked Nashville, is quite a feat. And I think that this will strike fear in the hearts of a lot of Republicans. But I just wanted to break in and let you know the Republican has won. Matt Van Epps has beaten Afton Ben in Tennessee's 7th District. All right, so there's that news. And it's weird that I'm talking after something that I'm going to say in the future, and I don't even know what it is. but there it is. Also today, I'm going to talk to Nikki Kidd and Sarah Slackert from Resist and Repeat. These were the 15 suburban moms in Chicago that got arrested by the sheriff's office, sheriff's deputy, whatever. You know how the sheriffs are kind of dicks? They kind of go along with what Trump says.
Yeah,
Different
not all of
from,
them, but some of them, yeah.
Different from the local police. But they were arrested. They're going to be appearing in court today, and I'm going to talk to both of them, and they were part of that group. Then later, when you and I record the Beans Talk, we're going to talk about some interesting shit that went down on the internet, including what happened with Sabrina Carpenter and one of her songs being used in a violent, inhumane ICE video.
Okay, yep.
We'll talk about her response and then the White House's response to her response. We're going to talk about Donald Trump falling asleep, Don Snorleone, in his cabinet meeting today.
Well, Marco Rubio is sitting next to him, talking about him directly, where he has to say, the president, really loudly and sort of gesturing to him. I'm sure we'll have that. I mean, just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we're going to show some clips of that. And he called affordability a Democrat con job, which is really insulting to people who have eyes and can do math.
Yeah.
And also, we're going to talk about how the publisher of the Franklin the Turtle books has commented on Hegseth's.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm, on Hegseth's
Fantastic.
post. Yeah. So again, thanks to everybody for your human rights campaign donations. That's so incredible. Y'all are amazing.
Yeah, that link will stay open. So you're more than welcome to continue to use it. It's from the show notes from yesterday's show. I'm sure they can pop it back in this one easily. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we just appreciate you. What's going on with the DOJ?
Dude, okay. They're about to do something really, really dumb and look really stupid, embarrass themselves. They're going to step on their own dick again, and it's going to be fantastic.
Again.
Again and again and again. And it has to do with trying to rebring the charges against Comey and Letitia James.
You're kidding me.
Instead of appealing Judge Curry's order, calling Lindsay Halligan and illegitimately appointed as a U.S. attorney, they're actually mulling over bringing the charges to a new grand jury. And I went over it in detail with Wajahat Ali over on Substack. You can watch our latest discussion about it. I talk about it right at the opening, so you can get all the information. That's at MuellerSheWrote.com. And so we have a lot going on today. We've got a video podcast to record. Thanks to everybody who's watching our video podcasts. We love you.
Yeah, indeed. It's been fun. I'm glad that you all are enjoying them.
Yeah, and we've gotten some really great feedback on it. But we do also have a lot of news to go over today on the Audio Beans podcast. So let's hit the hot notes. Hot notes. All right, first up, I think the top story right now, while we wait for the release of the Epstein files, is Pete Hegseth. Okay. At first, the White House and Hegseth vehemently denied a double tap, a second strike on those two survivors of the first boat strike that they did on September 2nd. Then the White House admitted it. Yes, we did it. Then they said, we did it and it's totally legal and totally cool. But today, they're moving the goalposts again, but only after throwing an admiral under the bus. And the rank and file at the Pentagon are pissed off about this. This is from the Washington Post. They report that officials in Congress and at the Pentagon said Monday they're increasingly concerned that the Trump administration intends to scapegoat the military officer who directed U.S. forces to kill two survivors of a targeted strike on a suspected drug boat in Latin America, as lawmakers made initial moves to investigate whether the attack constituted a war crime. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, acknowledged Monday that Pete Hegseth had authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct the strikes on September 2nd. Bradley, she added, worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed. Her scripted remarks at a news briefing elicited a furious backlash within the Defense Department, where officials described feeling angry at the uncertainty over whether Hegseth would actually take responsibility for his alleged role in the operation, or if he would leave the military and civilian staff under him to face the consequences. Quote, "This is Protect Pete bullshit." That's what one military official who, like others, spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal conversations, told the Washington Post. For a current enlisted or officer military official to say this is Protect Pete bullshit, it's pretty strong words. Now, Levitt's statement, quote, left it up to interpretation who was responsible for the second strike that killed the 2 survivors. That's what a separate military official said, imploring the White House to provide clarity on the issue. One official said of Levitt's statement, it's throwing us, the service members, under the bus. Another person said some of Hegseth's top civilian staff appeared deeply alarmed about the revelations and were contemplating whether to leave the administration. These are guys who stuck around after Signalgate. Okay? And Dana, I just want to point out that this Admiral Bradley, knew that killing those 2 people was a war crime.
Yeah.
So you can't just say, well, Hegseth made me do it. You can't just say, I was just following orders. Because this admiral has just as much an obligation to disobey unlawful orders as Hegseth does not to give them.
Yeah.
Now, today at the cabinet meeting, oh God, Hegseth said, I did not personally see the survivors. The thing was on fire. This is called the fog of war. This is what you in the press don't understand. You sit in your air-conditioned offices and plant fake stories in the Washington Post. Dude, you are sitting there with them. You are in the fog of war in your Pentagon makeup studio.
By the way, that was such a Few Good Men line right there that Pete Hegseth tried to do. You sit in your air-conditioned offices and plant fake stories in Washington Post.
Just fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's the Secretary of Defense. Secretary of War Crimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Dana, Republicans in Congress are using the second strike as a foot in the door to look more closely at the initial strikes, which are also illegal. And that's according to sources who spoke to the New Republic. So they're like, we know that the initial boat strike is illegal, but this one, the second one, is so egregious. It's used as an example in what not to do in the law of war books at the Department of Defense and the Pentagon. That is what we're using this second strike as a foot in the door, because everyone can agree we should investigate the second strike, and then we'll look more closely at the initial strikes.
Fantastic. I'm glad they are. All right. This one's from NBC. At least 11 elected Republicans in Indiana, they've been the targets of swatting attacks and other threats in the weeks since President Trump publicly pressured state lawmakers to approve a new congressional map that would benefit Republicans. In a lengthy social media tirade on November 16th, Trump blasted Indiana State Senate Republicans for not supporting the effort. He named 2 senators and a governor. That's Governor Mike Braun. The next day, Trump said he would, and I quote, strongly endorse against anyone who opposes the push. Indiana House lawmakers began taking up redistricting legislation Monday, formally introducing the new map. Well, the state Senate is expected to do the same next week. Republican State Senator Mike Bohasek, who opposes redistricting, said in a statement Monday that he was the target of a bomb threat last week. Isn't it crazy that all these people are finally realizing that what we've been dealing with the whole time when we speak out against this administration? And now a warning? All right.
I love that when Jasmine Crockett was like, Marjorie Taylor Greene's been going against Trump for, a week now? And she can't take the heat? And we've been dealing with this since the beginning? Okay.
Yep. That's exactly it. This is a quote from the story. This recent pattern of threatening behavior and intimidation attempts are not only concerning, but also illegal. That was from the senator. And he said, I hope to see justice for this type of behavior. Bohasek, who has a daughter with Down syndrome, this is the quote we talked about the other day, said Friday that he intends to vote against redistricting after Trump used a slur for those with intellectual disabilities to describe Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. He received the bomb threat the same day, according to the statement. State Senator Jean Lasing says she was the target of a pipe bomb threat over the weekend. This is what she said in Monday's statement. She said, I believe these threats are a result of the redistricting pressure on Indiana. Threats like these to public officials are unacceptable. And I know law enforcement will do everything they can to bring whoever did this to justice. Now, State Senator Greg Goody, he said he was the victim of a swatting attack hours after he'd been targeted in Trump's post, which also named Senate President pro tempore Roderick Bray. Bray said that there was not enough GOP support to even pass the maps. Indiana State Police confirmed November 20th that they were investigating multiple swatting attacks. Now, by the way, swatting refers to basically a hoax emergency call that prompts law enforcement to respond in an effort to harass, intimidate, or otherwise harm the targets. Okay. On November 19th, State Senator Dan Durnulk, said in a statement that he and his family were also victims of a swatting attempt. He said, "It is scary and shocking to me that someone would go so far to try to cause harm, to fear to me or my family." Again, welcome to our fucking world. Also on November 19, State Senator Rick Neymar faced an attempted swatting incident. This is from a spokesperson, Emma Balzer. She said that in a statement. Kristen Gorsuch, a spokesperson for Senator Greg Walker, confirmed that he was also the victim of a swatting attack. Good Lord.
Yeah.
On October 20th, Senator Spencer Deary said he was the statement in law enforcement and, I quote, thwarted an attempt swatting attack on him and his family. Also on November 20th, State Senator Kyle Walker said in a statement, attempts have been made to intimidate me and threaten violence at my house. On the 21st of November, Senator Linda Rogers, she said she was, and I quote, the victim of several intimidation incidents. And State Senator Andy Zay announced that his business had been targeted with a bomb threat. House Speaker Todd Huston, a Republican, and the chamber's top Democrat, Phil Giaquinte, released a joint statement on Monday, the 21st, condemning threats and swatting as, and I quote, abhorrent and completely unacceptable.
Yeah. Getting a little taste of what it's like to be on the wrong side of MAGA, huh?
Tell you what.
But it's the woke radical leftists that are the violent ones.
Right. I'm sure they're going to be like, these are Democrats.
Right. That's what it's going to be like. Oh, the Indiana State Police is looking into it. Okay. They're going to be like, yeah, he's a woke Marxist Biden auto pen fan. I can't. I just can't. All right. Next up from the Times, the Trump administration fired 8 immigration judges in New York City on Monday, and that's according to 2 people familiar. The firings followed an earlier round of job cuts in New York immigration courts and are part of a broader disruption across the country, which is taking place as the president seeks to accelerate his mass deportation agenda. They were confirmed by an official at the National Association of Immigration Judges, which is a union that represents immigration judges, and a Justice Department official who requested anonymity because they were not authorized to speak on the matter. The immigration courts are under the control of the Justice Department. Just so you know, this is an executive branch function. They're not part of the judiciary, so they can be fired. All the judges were dismissed from the immigration court's offices at 26 Federal Plaza. All of them. A building that houses the New York City headquarters for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and has become the epicenter of migrant arrests in the city. It's also where they were holding people in rooms for days with no food or clean water or a toilet. Now, the 8 judges included Amina A. Khan. She's the assistant chief immigration judge at 26 Federal Plaza, who supervises the other judges there. Before Monday, about 90 immigration judges had been fired this year across the United States, including 6 in New York. And there are about 600 immigration judges nationwide. Now, union officials said that 36 of the fired judges had been replaced nationwide, including 2 in New York. Monday's firings represented a significant downsizing of staff at 26 Federal Plaza, which employs 34 immigration justices. It is one of 3 federal immigration courts in the city. Quote, the court has been basically eviscerated. That's what Olivia Casson said, who was fired from her job as an immigration judge at a different New York City courthouse in November. Ms. Casson said she had the job for more than a decade. She said, quote, it feels like a Monday afternoon massacre. So he's firing these immigration judges, and he's actually put out ads, Dana, that say, become a deportation judge.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. So he's advertising these jobs as that. And the Pentagon has been lending some JAG lawyers to be immigration judges as well, because they just want people to rubber stamp their mass deportations and not pay attention to the Constitution.
Yeah. Again, you can not follow orders if they're illegal or unlawful. Mm-hmm. I know those ones aren't specifically yet, but just think about what you're doing. All right, this one's from CNBC, and I love this story. Costco is suing the Trump administration to get a full refund of new tariffs that it paid so far this year. I know. It's also doing that to block those import duties from continuing to be collected from the retail warehouse club giant as a Supreme Court case plays out. In the suit filed Friday, Costco said that it risks losing the money it has already paid to satisfy the tariffs, even if the Supreme Court eventually upholds earlier lower court rulings that found Trump did not have the legal power to even impose those duties. The company noted a looming December 15 deadline that could prevent the tariffs that it has already paid on an estimated basis from being refunded. Costco did not say how much money it believes should be refunded to the company. Costco's suit, filed in the U.S. Court of International Trade, said that U.S. Customs and Border Protection denied companies' requests to extend the December 15th date of so-called liquidation, the final computation of tariffs assessed on imported items. While an importer has 6 months to file a protest contesting liquidation, not all liquidations are protestable. This is what the suit said. Dozens of other companies have filed similar lawsuits to protect their right to potential refunds in case the Supreme Court rules against the so-called reciprocal tariffs that Trump imposed on imports from many U.S. trading partners and his so-called fentanyl tariffs on products from Canada, China, and Mexico. I can't believe. Yeah, Trump invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. That's what he did to impose those often very high tariffs. Well, in August, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, in a 7-4 ruling, upheld a prior decision by the Court of International Trade that found Trump did not have that power. During oral arguments on November 5th, a majority of the Supreme Court's 9 justices appeared skeptical of arguments by a lawyer for the Trump administration that the president did have the power to impose those tariffs. Now, the Supreme Court took the administration's appeal of the lower court rulings on an expedited basis, but it is not clear when or how the court is going to decide the dispute.
Yeah, we'll watch that with that liquidation date of December 15th, and we'll watch to see if the court does rule in an expedited basis, maybe before then, so that these companies, many of them, dozens of them who have filed to not have this money taken away, it will be harder to refund it after the 15th. We'll see if they decide before the 15th. All right. Thanks for that story. I'm glad they're suing. And this is, just one of many reasons to shop at Costco above Target or Amazon. They're just a cool company. All right, everybody, we've got some good news to get to, but next I'm going to interview those 2 amazing ladies that were arrested in Chicago 6 weeks ago and have a court hearing today. Stick around. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's the holidays, and with WildGrain, you can fill your home with the smell of fresh baked bread. It is the first Bake from Frozen subscription box for artisanal breads, pastries, and pastas that cook in under 25 minutes straight from frozen. WildGrain uses simple ingredients you can actually recognize for a slow fermentation process, which has better texture and nutrients. And each box is fully customizable. And now you can choose from classic, gluten-free, or plant-based collections that feature seasonal goodies as well, which I love. So thanks to WildGrain for supporting the show. Check this deal out. For a limited time, WildGrain is offering you $30 off your first box, plus free croissants in every box. Just go to wildgrain.com/dailybeans to start your subscription, and you can use promo code dailybeans at checkout. Now, WildGrain has completely changed the way I approach holiday meals and gatherings. My latest box had sourdough, Parmesan herb biscuits, and the Tear and Share cranberry pecan rolls that stole the show. They're amazing. The apple pie bites were a close second, warm and buttery, gone within minutes. Dana, you eat gluten-free. You were thrilled with your delivery. Everything baked perfectly, tasted homemade, and was ready in under 25 minutes. Now this year, WildGrain is my go-to for entertaining. Their breads and pastries make any spread look amazing with zero stress and zero effort, which is what I like. I like to grab a few items in bulk, so I have warm bread ready whenever guests stop by. From cozy weekend brunches to busy weeknight dinners, WildGrain adds that perfect touch of warmth and simplicity to my kitchen, and my house smells amazing. So for a limited time, WildGrain is offering you $30 off your first box, plus free croissants in every box. Just go to wildgrain.com/dailybeans to start your subscription. You heard me, free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box. Just head to wildgrain.com/dailybeans. You'll be glad you did. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. So I'm not sure if folks listening to the Beans were following the news when a group of 15 suburban moms from Chicagoland were protesting at a sit-in at the Broadview Detention Center in Chicago recently. And I was really wanting to talk to some folks who might have been on the ground there, literally. And today we have that. We're joined by 2 of the members of Resist and Repeat, which list themselves on Instagram as moms from the Chicagoland area channeling alarm into action to protest what's happening in our communities. So please welcome Nikki Kidd and Sarah Slackert. Welcome.
Hi, thanks so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, it's good. It's first of all, thank you for putting your bodies out there on the line, getting in harm's way to protest what is essentially kidnapping and disappearing of our neighbors. And I want to ask you if you could tell us about the sit-in that you were participating in and when it was and what happened that day. Let's start with Sarah.
So about 6 weeks ago, when ICE activity and border control activity really picked up in the Chicagoland area, I was feeling really helpless about what can I do. I got involved in some community groups that were helping, provide groceries and safe passage to school and rapid response to ICE. And I felt drawn to do something more. And so I went to the protest over at Broadview because that had been on the news. And I was like, what is going on over there? So I met somebody who had been there. He told me and another mom friend kind of like where to park, what to bring. And then we went. We walked in there, little suburban moms with their backpacks with gas masks in them. And I just kept going every Friday, Saturday, and I would just bring a couple more moms with me because I was like, we need to, I think everybody can do what they have capacity for. And I think we need people doing the, getting winter coats and doing the grocery delivery and helping with safe passage to school. I have a little more renegade in me, I guess. And I was like, I want to do something different because I think all those things are valuable. So I was like, let me see who's organizing the moms to do something. And I didn't see anybody. So I was like, I'll start organizing the moms and then we'll link up with somebody else who's already doing something. And I kept not finding anybody who is, organizing the moms at the protest in any type of way. And so
you activated the phone tree, like in Practical Magic. You're like, let's do it. Let's call all the moms I know and get out to the Broadview ICE facility because you got a little renegade streak in you and you wanted to put your bodies out there.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. It was particularly jarring in the recent weeks, the really aggressively targeting people for the color of their skin. And we all were looking around going, well, we have a huge amount of privilege and we need to get off our ass and use it. And, it's something that I've been saying through this whole process is like, we're not doing this perfectly. We could have been doing a lot more sooner than this, and just saying those uncomfortable things so that we can all come to the table and get some shit done. Mm-hmm. And so, not claiming anything perfect, but yeah, we literally activated the phone tree, texting mostly. And then a lot of people were interested and we found, I got connected with somebody who knew how to do training in civil disobedience to do it as safely as possible, nonviolent civil disobedience. Mm-hmm. And we just kept taking the next steps and did it.
Yeah. And here you are in the position that you're in. Nikki, what happened that day when you were there at the sit-in?
Yeah. So we arrived on Friday morning, kind of as usual for a lot of us. Friday mornings tended to be one of the larger, kind of more regular protest times over at Broadview. It had begun with some faith leaders had been doing, prayer and things, at Broadview for years and years. And so it was kind of a, through grassroots, everyone just kind of gravitated toward that time. And so when we arrived, at Broadview, we were protesting with everybody else. And I'm not sure, how much people are familiar, but there have been some rules regarding where you can protest at Broadview. They set up what they called free speech zones, which kind of by their nature imply that everywhere else is not free speech.
Right. I was like, okay, isn't the entire country a free speech zone? I don't know what century I'm living in, but anyway,
One would think.
Were you in one of these free speech zones or were you in a no speech zone?
So we were initially in the free speech zone, and we climbed over the barricades and held hands in a big circle and sat down on the road. And, we did it to bring attention to the fact that, families are being ripped apart and torn out of their lives and out of our communities.
Yeah, and the conditions in the facility are horrific. I know we've had Kat Bugazela on the show to talk about the longstanding protests, sustained protests in front of Broadview because of the horrific conditions. We've had judges issue orders saying, look, you can't touch protesters. You can't proactively throw chemical munitions and pepper balls. You can't shoot pepper balls at clergy. You can't move journalists. If you're going to move somebody, you got to make a bunch of verbal warnings. You got to give people a minute to move. You can't just give the warning and then throw some tear gas or tackle them. There was all these rules and temporary restraining orders. And I mean, these are, honestly, just constitutional rights that are being violated left and right. But for some reason, we need judges now to reiterate that to people like Gregory Bovino and the people who were in charge of Operation Midway Blitz. But you're there, you're holding hands, you're sitting in. And because I remember seeing videos of this, I believe you were sitting in a circle. And then who arrested you?
Yeah. So I think most of us, I'm not sure because I didn't clock every single police officer there, at Broadview. There were Broadview police, there were Cook County sheriffs, and there were Illinois State Police, all sort of managing the crowd, is what they claim. And I believe we were arrested all by Cook County Sheriff's Police. And that's, where we were taken once we were in police custody. We were zip tied and transported over to the Cook County Sheriff's, jail.
Sheriff's Department. Yeah. And let me ask you this, Sarah, because a lot of people are like, well, ICE, fuck Customs and Border Protection. But the sheriff's departments, and I think more so than the local police, seem to be aiding and abetting ICE a lot more than some of the other local or municipal police. Can you talk a little bit about your message was that day and why you think the sheriff's office got involved and charged you all, I believe, with misdemeanors? And we'll talk about your court date here in a second. But Sarah, talk a little bit about your message and why they felt you were being disorderly. You were sitting in a circle and you're a bunch of moms.
That's a really good question. So like Nikki said, there's, they call it the Unified Command, is this group of, like she said, Illinois State Police, the local municipality, Broadview, and the sheriff's police. And so even though the Illinois Trust Act says that they're not supposed to create a perimeter for federal agents to do their work, that is what they're doing there. My only thinking of why is because Governor Pritzker was trying to keep the National Guard from being deployed here. Although, the Illinois State Police didn't have to also beat people with batons who, the reason they charged us with disorderly conduct and not obeying a peace officer is because we sat down in a street and didn't get up when they asked us to move. We were not, intending to be arrested. We were intending to protest in a way that brought attention to what was happening in Chicago. I'm originally from Minneapolis area, and I would talk to friends and family, and they were like, what's going on in Chicago? We see videos on social media, not really understanding the trauma that was happening in our communities. Some communities much harsher than others. And so we wanted to do something that would bring attention to what was going on nationally. And we knew that white suburban soccer moms, we knew that had power, for better or worse. We were trying to use it.
And honestly, getting arrested is bringing more, I think, focus and light on this. I often dare this administration to arrest me or charge me with something. But I mean, it is also expensive to get lawyers. Nikki, do you all have a legal defense fund or anything like that where people can support? Because you have, if folks are listening to this today on Wednesday, we record this on Tuesday afternoon, but if you're listening to this on Wednesday, you have a court hearing, your first court hearing on Wednesday morning. And it is not, while it helps bring attention to the problem, it's not cheap to defend yourself. So what's going on in that arena, Nikki?
Well, we are extremely lucky and extremely privileged to have connected both with the National Lawyers Guild, who, helped kind of provide us with, kind of guidance of what to expect ahead of time from a legal perspective and kind of what our rights as protesters would be. And then also for the court date, some dads who are attorneys from our area volunteered to help provide legal counsel to the group. So again, we're extremely fortunate and privileged to have those connections and that network. So that way we can, for everyone who felt like they wanted to support our legal defense, we said no to, support the people who are being detained and all of the lawyers that are doing such amazing work in the immigration space to try to, fight on behalf of people, just being picked up off the street.
Yeah. And that's really, I think, pretty incredible. And that's how I feel too. That's why I'm like, I dare you to come at me, bro. Because, I am privileged enough to be able to fight that battle. But these folks, our friends and our neighbors, many of them are not. And so I think, a lot of folks on this Giving Tuesday, we're really looking for ways to help our immigrant communities and our immigrant families. And there's so many, amazing nonprofits and organizations to give to. So thank you very much to the pro bono lawyers that are helping y'all out. Mm-hmm. One more question, Sarah, what is next for you? I imagine there's going to be more organizing, more moms are going to join your group. I don't know if you've connected with Trouble Nation through Red Wine and Blue. That's a really great kind of mom action organization. And I know they've got chapters everywhere, maybe hooking up with them. We've had Red Wine and Blue on here before, and they do some incredible work and maybe connecting with some of those groups. But I know that your message isn't just, we have to help, we have to do what we can in whatever capacity we can, but your message is also we have to sustain this fight. So Sarah, what is next for Resist and Repeat?
Yeah, part of our message is that anybody can take action right now. I'm sure some of your listeners who are more experienced than us, feel free to laugh because we made our Instagram account the night before our action. And I think everybody has their sphere of influence that's right, next to them that they can maybe have some influence over. And so that's really been our encouragement to people is to think about, because you have a relationship and ability to talk to people that we can't. And, especially with the holidays and everything coming up. So our focus was really, on moms because that's the stage of life that we're in. But, we had people in our group who are not moms and different, we're open to any different gender identifying people also. So we don't want to close it off just to female moms. But, our encouragement, we're trying to use our Instagram to, our link tree has a lot of those organizations you were talking about. There's people who have been doing this obviously so much longer and better than we have. So we didn't want to reinvent the wheel as moms. We're busy. We don't have time to reinvent anything. And so, we've been just sharing updates about different things going on and now trying to figure out as the border control daily pressure has kind of left Chicago for now. We have been able to talk to moms in Charlotte who a couple of weeks ago, they were just, starting to get overwhelmed with ICE activity. And so sharing kind of what we have learned has been one of the things we've been doing. And then we're actually, because we're just regular people, still trying to figure out exactly what what would be the most useful thing for us to do next, that's not really out there yet. And Nikki can maybe say more about that.
I think that the pause here is a good time to regroup and grow your numbers, because they promised they'll be back. They're gone right now,
Yes.
but they've promised they'll be back, and they'll come back tenfold, because it's a little too cold for them in Chicago in the wind toes. So their little toesies and their tootsies and their fingies get a little too cold. So they're going to go home for now. It's like watching the Arizona Cardinals play in Minnesota, but they're a little cold. So they're going to go, but they'll be back. And so I think this is a good time to work those numbers, activate that phone tree, get together with other organizations and see if you can grow it.
Yes. So there's definitely interest in doing, more civil disobedience, peaceful. There's also, looking at different locations, even in like the Chicago area. And one of the things too that we've tried to kind of stick to is that, like, we're not going to beat them by matching their tomfoolery. We're going to try to really, like, a lot of them need like a hug from a mom right now, because I always say, like, their childhood trauma is showing, a lot of these ICE agents. And so trying to stay on a more positive note, trying to, it's hard because it does at times feel good to yell at them. And it's frustrating, and you feel very powerless. The times that I videoed them taking another human being right in front of my eyes was the most powerless that I've ever felt. And so, that was something I was not expecting to have happen that day. And your instinct is, well, I don't know.
Well,
it's really difficult. So I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say exactly.
I think I know what you're getting at. The video, when you took your phone out and took video of what was happening, that is an actually extremely powerful tool. If you watch what Judge Ellis went through in her courtroom, where lie after lie from these federal agents saying, "Oh, we gave them warning about the tear gas, we did this," it was folks who took video that were able to disprove and discredit these erroneous charges that are being brought against people, et cetera. So those are I think the kind of things that are really, really important. And Nikki, before we get out of here, I know that there's lots of groups and lots of individuals in the Chicago area that are listening that want to connect groups together. Can you tell us how they can reach out to resist and repeat and to join forces for more action in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. We welcome our DMs are open on our Instagram channel. We welcome anyone to contact us. One of the things that we did a couple weeks ago was we hosted, kind of a Broadview basics class to help, provide some of that information that someone provided for Sarah before she provided it to other people to, kind of give them the lay of the land at Broadview, if that's how they would like to participate. We're also trying to connect with people in other cities, like New Orleans is apparently next up on the list. I know Memphis has been dealing with a lot of, crazy activity with their police force and ICE there and the National Guard. So, what we're really trying to do is just, connect with as many people as possible in all of the places that this is happening, which at this point feels like everywhere. To really just try to, offer as much resource as we can from where we sit and the experience that people in Chicago had. And then also, to prepare, like you said, they're going to be back. And, I think it has been really powerful to see, the lessons that were learned in LA that then Portland took their spin on it, and the lessons from Portland that then Chicago took and did our spin on it, that then we passed along to Charlotte and Memphis and, hopefully soon to New Orleans. So, I think it's just a matter of connecting with people and then also, reaching your sphere of influence, making sure that people know what's going on and are aware of it. I think there are a lot of people who, if they don't see it with their own eyes or hear it from someone that's close to them, in their own lives, they don't believe it. They don't understand it. They don't recognize it as the just horrendous constitutional violation and horrible treatment that it is.
Yeah, agreed. So everybody, if you're listening, if you're in the Chicago area and you want to connect, you can check the Instagram account. It's Resist and Repeat. And if you're in a city where the Customs and Border Protection is coming or is there and you want to get some best practices so you don't have to, as you say, reinvent the wheel, you can also reach out. Or if you just want to send words of support and give them a follow over on Instagram. Again, it's called Resist and Repeat. Great name, by the way. Very good name.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate everything that you're doing. I appreciate the fight in you. And I know that you're going through it with the legal system, but I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing in what you can do and where you're doing it.
Thank you. And thank you for having us. We're just, trying to do the next one thing, the one more thing that we can do, kind of every week. So
yeah, fascism is like an episode of Hoarders. The whole house is a mess, but you just got to pick a corner and start cleaning. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Sarah Slackert, Nikki Kidd, for joining us today. And everybody go to Instagram and follow Resist and Repeat. Everybody stick around. We'll be right back with the good news. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's time for the good news.
Who likes good news, everyone? Then good news, everyone.
Good news. It's time for my favorite part of the show, your good news submissions. Please send them to us. If you have good trouble ideas, maybe you have a shout out to a loved one or yourself or a government program that's helped you or a loved one. Any little tiny bit of good news or big, giant, amazing good news could have happened yesterday, could have happened tonight when we get the election results, could have happened 10 years ago. It doesn't matter. Just send it to us. We all need to microdose the happiness. And then also all you got to do to get your submission read on the air is pay your pod pet tariff, which means attach a photo of your pet. If you don't have a pet, you can send an adoptable pet in your area. If you don't have that, you can always send a random photo of an animal off the internet. Anything works. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like, whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter. The photo doesn't matter. Send it to us. You can also send bird watching photos, which can be an actual bird, or you and your family or friends flipping the bird to Trump buildings. We love those. Everyone's got at least one in their phone, right? Especially if you've been to Chicago. Send it to us, dailybeanspod.com. Click on contact. Really, any picture will do. It doesn't have to fall in those categories. All right, first up is your good trouble. And this comes from Noel, pronouns he and him. I'm submitting good trouble for any Michigan listeners. There is currently a petition to implement ranked choice voting here in the state. This is a great idea that will better represent the preference of the voters in our elections. To sign the petition, go to rank MI for Michigan, rankmivote.org, and click Where do I sign? I found a signing event 3 blocks from my office happening the same day. So easy. So we'll have a link to find the petition near you. We'll have a link to sign it online at rankmivote.org. And there's going to be some information in the show notes about what ranked choice voting is. For Pod Pet Tax, I submit my one-eyed goofball, Blake, just chilling on the couch. His name is pronounced Balake, like he is in a Key and Peele substitute. Oh, Blake Balake, like he is in a Key and Peele substitute teacher sketch.
Oh my God, that sketch is one of the best.
Jaqueline,
Yep.
Aaron.
Oh, so good.
It was so fun to meet him too.
Yeah, he's the nicest guy.
He was
They both are, actually.
He was so into my hard pants joke.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, because everybody, when I had after COVID, every time I leave the house, I say I have to put on hard pants.
Yep.
Instead of what I wear around the house all the time. He was super into that. He was just a wonderful gentleman. Look at this kitty, really so cute.
Adorbs. Oh, and look at the picture in the next one. This is from Anonymous.
Goodness.
Anonymous pronouns she and her. Good news. I'm a neurodivergent who crashed and burned when this administration came about through the fault of dim voters and scurrilous shenanigans. Thank you. Scurrilous shenanigans. With your help and that of bright friends and therapy, I'm okay now. Thanks a bunch. Keep on trucking. Attached are pics of the oldest and youngest critters who live with me. They too have saved me too many times to count. Gracie Marie Dubois is the dog, and Inez is the calico. Gracie
Look at
Marie
Gracie.
Dubois is just perfect. And look at Inez.
Is the Dubois after Blanche Dubois from the Golden Girls?
I hope so.
We have a Golden Girls holiday pop-up here in my town, and we're totally going to it.
Yes, you do.
Oh, look at these sweet, sweet, sweet babies. Thank you so much, Anonymous. I'm glad you're doing well. It's tough. It's tough out there. This community is pretty great, though.
It sure is.
And so are pets. Oh, my God, these dogs in the next photo.
I know.
Oh, my God, these dogs. Look at that underbite. Twin underbites. Okay. Diane, pronoun she and her. I just want to share a good news story that involves puppies. My sister and I live in 2 different states. After my husband died, I was looking for a doggy companion. I sent a video of 2 puppies, and we both got a sibling. She is also a widow, and the dog has become a valuable part of her life. We enjoy sharing doggy milestones and getting the siblings all together, doggy and human. So can you guess the breed? The white one is Lala, and the red one is Zeppy, short for Zephyr. It is good for the overall health of everyone if you live in a pack. We love their underbites. Oh my God, me too. They're matching.
They're so cute.
Are these Pekingese? Let's see. Pekingese Pomeranians. Oh,
I was going to say, I see some pom-pom in there.
Pomonese, I guess, is what you would call them.
I love this next submission because, Rose, you are mentioning all the orgs that could not come to my brain yesterday. So thank you. This is from Rose, pronouns they, them. Hello, Beans Queens. Thanks for shouting out HRC, Lambda Legal, and others for Giving Tuesday. I'd like to also point listeners with means to donate toward the Transgender Law Center. We'll have a link. Advocates for Trans Equality, the org behind Trans Survey. That's transequality.org. The Trans Lifeline, which is translifeline.org, GLAD with 2 A's.org, Trans Student Educational Resources, or TSER, the Campaign for Southern Equality, which is southernequality.org, the Trans Justice Funding Project, which is the transjusticefundingproject.org, which distributes money to trans-led grassroots organizations, or you can donate directly to any of hundreds of local to state level organizations. This is such a great point, Rose. Compiled in the links below. We're going to have these in the show notes. Note that not every organization listed in these directories accepts donations, but it's worth knowing what sorts of resources are available in your area. For fun, I've attached a picture of my sister's cat sitting on one stair with her foot paws on another. And there's actually a link to 100 organizations supporting trans people in all 50 states. We are going to have that in our show notes.
Yeah. And the National LGBT Resource Guide for queer and transgender organizations and transgender resources in the United States. All these links, so many links. Rose, you're amazing.
Love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Look at this beautiful kitty. Oh, hello. All right, next up, Ashley, pronouns she and her. Hi, Queens of the Beans. I want to make a shout out to my oldest child, whose birthday was on Giving Tuesday, but who gave me and my husband the biggest gift of all. They are currently in their junior year of college studying marine biology. That was like my dream job, by the way, Dana, when I was
marine biology.
Mm-hmm. This surprised no one, considering the only time they ever got sent to the principal's office was in first grade when they corrected the teacher who tried to tell them that dolphins were fish. But they have already overcome so much. They had their first seizure when they were 2, and unfortunately, they did not, in fact, grow out of them, but still have them. This has led to frantic 3 a.m. phone calls with freaked out roommates and concerned EMTs who did not believe them, that they just needed to go to sleep, and yet they persist. I don't know what their future holds, so I put my faith in them. Considering our house is filled with animals they have already rescued, I'm sure that the orcas are in good hands. Oh, bless. For my pod pet tax, I'm attaching a picture of my grand lottles. Oh, this is a oxalotl, grand oxalotl. My kiddo worked in an oxalotl lab over the summer and fell in love with Toothless and then adopted Doc when it looked like they were shutting down the lab for good. If you would like to play with what's the model of your oxalotl, Toothless is a blank and Doc is a blank. Look at these babies.
Oh my God, they're cute.
Okay, so Doc is a pink one and Toothless is a black one. That's this. Toothless is black. Oh, look at that. Melanoid. And Doc is pink. I got it right. I was joking and I got it right. Pink or leucistic. Incredible. I'm also attaching a picture that my husband turned into a horror movie photo poster featuring Toothless. Also, thank you for doing this. I've submitted my birthday shout outs to my mom, hi mom, and my son, and the whole family listens to it. Considering just trying to explain the news sometimes makes you sound like a raving conspiracy theorist, I'm so incredibly thankful for this community that you ladies built. Thank you. Look at the movie poster of Toothless, the black oxalotl.
So good.
Thank you.
So good. We've got Vegan Famdoc up next, pronouns he and him. Good morning. My news with swearing queens. A correction on the word fentanyl. It's like saying fentanyl, not fentanyl. Fentanyl.
Yeah.
I'm a
fentanyl.
Yep, fentanyl. There you go, fentanyl. I'm a physician, and it hurts my brain whenever someone says fentanyl. That may have been me, but I'm not sure. I also have a bad tooth right now, so I could be lisping. Thank you, and keep up the good reporting. Oh my God, look at these dogs.
That dog is incredible. Oh my goodness.
It looks like someone photoshopped another head onto a dog's body, but this is so cute.
There's a little beagle type and a lab type, and then whatever this terrier, schnauzer, poodle thing is just adorable.
Love it.
Fentanyl. Yeah. I have the same thing, vegan famdoc, but with the word nuclear.
Oh, I bet.
Because I went to Naval Nuclear Power Training Command, and my dad actually gave me a really good hint when I was young, because I was saying it wrong when Reagan was in office, because Reagan was saying it wrong. And he said, think of two words, the word new and the word clear. Nuclear.
Nuclear.
All right. So next up from Arcane, pronouns she and her, dear beans, queens, and leguminati. Let me tell you about what organizing group Indie Next Gen accomplished last month. As soon as we heard about the possibility of food stamps being cut, a couple of our members started up a massive food drive here in Muskegon County, Michigan. Feeding the Lakeshore had donation boxes in 10 to 12 locations for about 5 weeks, collecting food, clothing, and ingredients for meal packages with recipes. By November 24th, we distributed 65 carloads of food and clothing to food pantries, both formal and informal. Think little food pantries, similar to little libraries, along with 150 meal kits with recipes and ingredients. By the end, our members realized that we needed to shift our focus to toiletries because our food pantries were so well stocked. I got tears in my eyes thinking about just how much our little group accomplished. For my pod pet Tariff, I've included photos of both my orange boy and my void child, keeping me company while I work on my holiday knitting.
Aww.
Owen and Selena are very good babies who don't attack my yarn while I work, usually. I know so many people with a combo of a void cat and an orange cat. Like, it's so common. But this is incredible. What amazing work. I'm never disappointed when when I wonder if people are going to help.
Yeah.
It's always overwhelming. I always outdoes what I ever could have imagined.
I agree. I agree. All right. We've got Allison, pronouns she and her. Ahest Siquiste, beans queens. That's what it is. I believe this is a native language, and I'm going to do my best. Allison, welcome. And I can't wait to read this. Hello. Good morning, Beans Queens. I was listening to the December 1st episode, and Dana said she hopes we all had a nice, even hate to say Thanksgiving, with colonization, ... And I would like to add genocide. And I'm glad you are, Allison. I'm a member of the Spokane tribe in Eastern Washington. One facet of genocide is the eradication of language. They did such a thorough job with our tribe that we have only a handful of fluent speakers left, and most of them are elders. Our tribe has been a bit slow on revitalization, but shout out to the Spokane. We're working hard to save our language. Today, I had a second interview with our tribal language department. I was just one of over 30 applicants and just 5 open positions. I'm so excited to share that I've been selected and will be entering a 2-year-long adult language immersion program. Together, we will save our language and our culture. Language is so important that I want everyone to know that you should always speak your language, even in the face of fascism. No, especially in the face of fascism.
Hear.
Never lose who you are or where you came from, because it's you who makes this country great. I've included a photo of Mr. Jack Carter, a.k.a. Jackie Jack. I'll let you guess his breed. Here's a hint. It's not what you'd think. You hear hoofbeats. Think zebra. And signing off, Liam Lemch. I hope that is right. And it says, thank you. Oh my God, look at how beautiful this horse is.
What an incredible submission. I learned so much.
Thank you so much for this. Me too. I did a gig in the Inland Empire for True Evolution a couple weeks ago, and one of the tribe's elders of the land we were on was there, and he did a prayer in his native tongue and his native language. And Allison, it was so powerful and brought tears to my eyes and this blessing. And he was in his elder, and I apologize, I don't know, but he had his feathers in his shirt and everything he was to wear that he does wear to signify he's an elder in the tribe. It was so fucking powerful. I felt so lucky to be in that room.
Yeah, I remember when I did a couple of opening remarks for both of the No Kings rallies here in San Diego, and Bobby Wallace from the Kumeyaay Nation and his younger sister came. She played an incredible flute, and he gave a blessing, and I was just in awe.
Yeah, incredible. Allison, thank you so much for that submission and the reminder. And congratulations.
Yeah. Heck yeah. 30 applicants. They only took 5. You're in. 2-year immersion. That's amazing. I mean, I guess this, you know what? All I can say about this horse is that it's an Appaloosa. It's a paint Pinto, right? But I think that's the coloring and not the breed. Let's see. Jack is a Nez Perce horse. We wild caught from the Nez Perce Reservation. This horse was the influence behind today's Appaloosa. Oh,
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I hope I pronounced that properly. I apologize if I didn't. Everybody, thank you so much. What a great, good news. I'm excited now to close this down. We're going to go record the Beanstalk video podcast, and then I'm going to watch some election results with my amazing bestie, who's also my neighbor, because I'm lucky like that. Any final thoughts?
Not today.
You'll be out tomorrow, right? I'm gonna be solo in your ears tomorrow, everybody.
Yep, I appreciate you. I'll be back with you on Friday.
Cool. And I look forward to that. And it'll be Fugelsang Fridays. And I hope everybody else has a wonderful evening. And I will see you tomorrow. Until then, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, and take care of your family. I've been AG.
I've been DG.
And them's the beans.
The Daily Beans is written and executive produced by Allison Gill, with additional research and reporting by Dana Goldberg. Sound design and editing is by Desiree McFarlane, with art and web design by Joelle Reeder with Moxie Design Studios. Music for The Daily Beans is written and performed by They Might Be Giants, and the show is a proud member of the MSW Media Network, a collection of creator-owned podcasts dedicated to news, politics, and justice. For more information, please visit mswmedia.com.
MSW Media.